Well, you guys, our beloved little mini truck, the 1986 Toyota, has fallen under hard times. I got this truck about 5 years ago from my oldest son when he turned 16, and my youngest son has been driving it most recently. So I drove it on a bunch of trips out to California, and I've just had a ball with it. I love the damn thing. It's in great shape overall, except for the rusty bed. You'll see the other videos on the channel where I put a new suspension on here, polished up the wheels, put new 33-inch Toyos on it, and tried to turn it into a little bit more of a wheelie machine. And the next kind of upgrade steps will be a reduced gear set for the differentials, and probably a simple lock-right locker in the rear at least. So anyways, this truck, my youngest son, I handed it off to him, and he's been driving it for about a year now, and apparently I neglected to emphasize and stress the importance of constantly checking the oil and checking the radiator fluid. So about 2-3 months ago, it was burbling and stuff when I drove it, and sure enough, I popped the radiator cap, and it's just like a freaking full-on geyser in there. So it seriously had been overheated. It had been being overheated pretty freaking regularly, unfortunately. So the overheating is what began to cause the breakdown. Well, it stressed out the seals, so a lot of the seals started breaking loose. So we're going to see right through here, the valve cover seals, some of these other front seals, they just started giving up. Because like I said, I drove this thing for about 4 years before that, and it had a couple drips of oil here and there, but it did not start oozing oil out of every freaking possible seal surface until it started getting stressed out. So word to the wise on that is just make sure you emphasize when you're handing off these old rigs to your kids that this stuff has to be, and even if you do emphasize it, you need to be the one that freaking checks on it constantly and regularly. I don't know if it's got a blown head gasket or head gasket leaks, but it did emit some smoke out of the tailpipe. I'm trying to remember whether it was the blue smoke or I think it was white smoke, but it kind of goes away. So it's got some bad news coming out of the tailpipe. It's got a ton of seals leaking, and most obviously is it has coolant leaking out of somewhere in the engine onto the ground. So it's not the radiators, and from what I believe, it's these freeze plugs on this driver's side. I think that the freeze plugs got so overheated that the seal around them broke loose, and it's kind of oozing out of the sides. So it's got freaking green coolant all down the sides of this damn thing, and it's time to go. It's time to be yanked for new seals and or a head gasket as it is. But a friend of mine, Adam, which you probably know or know of, is doing an engine swap in his a couple of his pickup trucks, and so he pulled out this awesome LC Engineering 22RE that's already been gone through, and I'm not going to pull that whole engine apart because of the state of this truck, but all indications show that it's a pretty damn good engine. We're going to stick it in there and we're going to try it. We're going to run it, and if it needs more work later, well, we'll pull the top end off of it later and check it out. But it's just that I've got so many rigs and trucks that need work and need to be kept on the road. And if you will notice, the FJ40 has been getting almost no love for a long time now. So it's just, I just don't have time to do all of everything. So we're going to stick it in there, and it's going to be pretty badass. So a couple of the upgrades are with it that come with it is it's got the new it's got a new valve cover, it's got the new double timing chain on the inside, and it's got a full-on electronic ignition system. So we'll be getting rid of the distributor cap and the ignition coil pack here for the new system with a programmer on the inside and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. I picked it up for a sweet deal from Adam, and it's just too good of a deal to pass up, and he included. We'll go take a look at the engine. Let's go take a look at that engine. There she is, the poor FJ40. Boy, it's going to be glorious one of these days. Okay, so here is the LC Engineering 22RE. A couple of super awesome things about it that Adam included was, for the price I paid for it, he included an air conditioner pump, an alternator, which I believe our alternator has been, our truck over there has a fairly new alternator, but I think that the coolant has been spraying all over the damn thing and zapping the alternator. So anyway, he included an alternator and a power steering pump. So just those appliances on the front end, along with the belt and everything else, is like super sweet. But yeah, this isn't oh, it also came with the header, so that's super nice. We'll leave that all intact, and then we'll just mount a new pipe system down below once we get that thing going. But yeah, it's overall in pretty darn good shape. Almost no leaks. It's got the ignition system. We got a little mag pickup coil system down here for that. And there she is, man. It's gonna be a pretty badass little hot rod. I mean, these little 22 REs, how much power can they really produce? Not a ton, but you know, but for what we got going on here, it's just definitely gonna be a pretty major upgrade. So let's get into this thing and try to get this thing yanked out of there. Oh yeah, so we have an automatic transmission in our truck, but he included the freaking flywheel and a clutch pack. So, I mean, all sorts of extra nice parts on here for what I paid for. I paid $500 for this thing. And probably just the engine itself without anything else on it would be definitely worth $500 bucks, but there's probably more than $500 more worth of appliances still attached to this bad boy. So thanks a lot, Adam. Huge shout out. You're my guy. Freaking love it. Thanks. And he included a K&N type of air filter, so that's pretty sweet, dude. Oh yeah, this is what we've done so far. Pulled off the air box, some of the hoses, got the radiator out and everything. So here we go, man. It's time to go to town. It's gonna be sweet. So Zegan and I, my youngest son, we've done phase one of pretty much pulling off most of the front end of this engine bay and kind of getting to where we can access most things. I'm gonna try to spend a couple hours today yanking all the things off to enable us to actually pick it out of here, climb around underneath, disconnect the transmission, transfer case, get the motor mounts off, and every other little attachment and whatnot. So hopefully when he gets off school today, maybe we can actually I'll try to have the engine hoist hooked up so we can actually pick it out of here. I'm gonna have to take the hood off, so remember to mark your hinge spots so you can get it mounted back on exactly how it goes. And yeah, so today is phase two. See if we can get the engine pulled, and then later we will try to get that other engine cleaned up and installed. So hopefully this doesn't end up being more than about a 5-day project, and we're kind of a couple hours in. Maybe call it out the first day, it was just a couple hours. So anyway, pretty excited trying to get this thing back up and on the road, because I sure miss driving it, and it's a hoot. Okay, air conditioner system, it's got to come off first. Obviously we don't want to break the seals of the air conditioner lines, so that's going to just be moved and relocated over here. Just checking out all the wiring locations. Got a big bundle going way back up underneath there. And yeah, all sorts of stuff going on down there. Okay, now this big bundle of wires right here is most certainly the most challenging part of this whole removal. You got all these down below. Okay, and then it goes clear up there. You've got at least 2 wires on the side of the block. You've got all of your fuel injectors. You've got all these up front, and then you got this whole bundle that comes up from underneath. That is just 1, 2, 3, 4, plus all of your fuel injectors, and those fuel injectors are damn near miserable, dude. I just recommend taking off the ring, the spring ring, just completely remove them so that you can slide it off. Because trying to fight with that is just really difficult. That's what took, I've been over here fighting with these fuel injectors for probably 15 minutes when they're just 4 plugs. So, you know, there's a crap load of wires that got to come out. So now I'm just going to try to kind of finagle this thing out through here and hope she comes. All right, so the solution for that one last tricky bit is just to pop all these hoses off of this unit here. And that gives you access to that one last plug down below. Wow, there's like 15 freaking wires, dude. 3 fuel injectors, good deal. This huge bundle trying to get out from underneath there, and there's all those parts in there. Jesus, wow, look at that. Holy cow. I feel like I just birthed the calf or something. me see what your problem is. Let me see. It's gonna be a little tricky. Okay, almost out. There we go. Thank you, little baby. Especially the very last one here. Come on, what are you doing? I don't want to come out. Da. Fucking done. Holy God. That is ridiculous. Look at this. I feel like I entered the Matrix or something. Are you kidding me? Good God. Unbelievable. Wow. Thank you. You might be wondering to yourself, but Jeremy, how bad did it really get? I mean, how many oil seals broke loose? How bad was it leaking? Well, it couldn't have been much worse. And like I said, dude, there had just been a little drip or two, but man, this poor thing, it is nasty. But dude, all I got left is two more bolts on the bell housing. Gotta squeeze up in here and get the torque converter bolts out and hook up the hoist and pick her out of here. So we're just about done for the day. I found that going in here through the starter hole to get access to those 12mm bolts was just better. Those bad boys loose. Couple turns back, there's 6 of them.